Well, hey, thanks for joining me as I continue to unfold some simple plans for prayer so that we can engage the dynamics of relationship in our encounter with God, to which He is tirelessly inviting us. So in any type of prayer, we want to acknowledge what stirs within us, the thoughts, feelings, and desires, tell God all about them, give God space to speak to us, to be present to us in whatever way He chooses, and to generously receive that, and let that then shape our response of love for God and neighbor as we go forward from that time of prayer. Today I want to talk about a way of praying that can be done with families or within a small group. I call it best thing, worst thing. It's kind of a variation on the examen that's given by St. Ignatius of Loyola. In that prayer, we spend time thanking God for the concrete gifts of the day, reviewing the day with God, where He's been acting, how we responded, asking for forgiveness where needed, and then looking to the future with God. Best thing, worst thing consolidates it down. Here's how it works. We'd gather as a family, maybe before our evening meal, and we would take a little bit of time. The leader would lead an opening prayer, asking for the Holy Spirit to come, helping us to be aware of God's presence, how He's looking upon us. And then each person would go around and simply share the best thing today and the worst thing today. Everyone else simply listens. This is not a time to analyze or to advise or to coordinate or strategize or do any of those things. It's simply a time for us to practice the attentive listening that we always want to be doing in prayer, now not only with God, but also with those around us. And so we would go around the table, and each member of the family would share the best thing and the worst thing. It's best if we keep it fairly simple. We don't tell long stories, but just here's the best thing that happened. Here's the worst thing today. At the end of that time, the leader would then conclude by leading a simple prayer, thanking God for the best things and asking for help with the worst things. Often those will highlight situations or people that need our intercessory prayer, and so we might offer petitions on their behalf. What's really intriguing after we conclude the actual time of prayer itself is the way that this can really foster conversation. I know during the time of the stay-at-home order, some of us are rediscovering the beauty of actually having conversation and actually sharing meals together and learning how to do that somewhat lost art, it seems, these days. This can be a way of furthering that and deepening it so that we really talk at a much deeper level, because we've now shared openly and honestly the best thing and the worst thing. And we've done so in relationship with God. And that strengthens our relationship with one another as well. I studied theology at Mundelein Seminary, which is outside of Chicago. And one of the things that we would do once a week, we would have dinner together with all the men that lived on each wing of the residence. So on those evenings, my particular wing, the 12 of us or so, would do best thing, worst thing. Best thing today, worst thing today. Just as I've described it here. And we'd offer a little prayer. The person that was leading and facilitating would offer a little prayer at the end. And often it would spark conversations about what happened, the good things that happened that day, the things that were struggles. We often became much more aware of the ways that we were blessed, the ways that those around us were blessed, and the ways that we were struggling, and the ways that those around us were struggling. And it led to some really deep conversations. So this can be a really great way of praying, of recognizing the best things, the blessings that God has given us each day, and thanking Him for them, as well as asking for God's help with the struggles and being more aware of those struggles as we share the worst things that happen. Further can deepen our conversation and can strengthen our relationships as a family or as a small group, whatever context we might be praying this in. So, another simple plan for prayer. Best thing, worst thing. Give it a try and see what you think. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless you.